Hi there, everyone. My name is Steve Murray, and what I thought I would do coming out of the talk that I gave on the 28th was to take a couple of the slides out that refer to some technical stuff. And I know there's quite a few of you that have asked me about this concept for a couple of years now, and that is this whole principle of METS and what is METS and Vo2 and fitness and all sorts of things, and how do we measure it and why is it important, and maybe try just keep it simple and but try and get to the crux of what I mean. So this slide was in today's talk, and it really refers to the fact that cardiovascular fitness protects us from the onset and progression of disease. We know that. So if you have a CRF, cardiorespiratory fitness, of less than 5 METs, well, you're in trouble. That's a red flag. It should be a red flag for you, for your doctor, because your chances of developing a chronic disease, or you may have an existing chronic disease and then it will be very dangerous or likely to kill you, increases by 60%. To me, that's the risk not worth taking. If your CRF is between 5 and 8, sort of greater than 5 but less than 8, this is kind of, you're in no man's land here. You're not going to go forward or backwards, but at some point, the risk factors that you may have could be potentially dangerous. Coming on to this green block here where your CRF is greater than 10 METs, that's kind of the sweet spot. At this point in time, your chances of developing an NCD or non-communicable disease decrease by up to 60%, and it continues to increase as you go above 10 METs, but there is a flattening of that curve. It's not linear. It doesn't just keep going. So the benefits kind of flatten out, but you can have a CRF of greater than 10 and you get a greater protection, but it does flatten out. So that's the important one. Now, it begs the question, obviously, so what is a MET? And what does it mean? Well, a MET, there are two ways that physiology nerds like me measure fitness. Okay, one is used in a medical setting, and that's METs is used much more in medical environments. The other one is called VO2, and that's often much more used in the performance setting. So with athletes or with in the fitness environment. So, but they're essentially the same thing. They both measure the same thing. So a MET stands for metabolic equivalent of task. It's really just a way to measure energy cost of various activities. Okay. So, all right. So what does a MET tell us? METs and VO2, in fact, tell us the same thing. It tells us how good our body is at taking oxygen out of the air we breathe, deliver that oxygen to your working muscles. Taking oxygen out of the air we breathe into your bloodstream, transporting that oxygen via your blood vessels to working muscle, and how is that energy utilized? So the fitter you are, the more efficient your body becomes. Okay, because that system becomes more and more efficient. So it's not just about how much air you can take in, it's about how much oxygen is diffused across into your lungs, how that's transported, and how it's actually at the end of the day used. So that's important. So METs tell us that, so does VO2 tell us that. So what is the difference between VO2 and METs? Well, nothing. It's just a different way of measuring the same thing. So it measures exactly the same thing, volume of oxygen that your body can deliver and utilize in 1 minute. So VO2 is expressed in milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of your body weight per minute. So otherwise, they are exactly the same thing. And it's real simple to get to METs from VO2 and vice versa, and the conversion factor is 3.5. So if you want to get VO2 from METs, you take your METs number and you multiply by 3.5. If you want to get a METs number from your VO2, you just divide your VO2 by 3.5. You can see that METs has a bigger step, if you're with me. So it's much more blunt in its measurement. VO2 can be very, very accurate down to the milliliter. So that's why you'll see athletes and performance people use VO2. In the medical setting, we're really much more concerned about the bigger steps. we're concerned at below 5, we're concerned at 8 and 10 and so on. So it's a much more blunt measure, but at the end of the day, it measures the same thing. Okay. So essentially, you can, if you have a modern smartwatch, performance watch, most of the, even the sort of middle of the range watches will measure VO2. You're able to get a VO2 from your watch. It's a good idea to use quite a lot of data, like not just one or two workouts to determine that, but months and months of data will give you a very accurate number. So your watch can do that if you've got enough data. Excuse me. If you're a member of a high-end health club and they've got Technogym equipment in there, you can run the fitness test, and the fitness test will give you typically VO2. If you can get hold of a watt bike, which are in most Virgin Actives and I think the others as well, you can run the fitness test on the bike and it will give you VO2. So really not too difficult to get hold of, either with your watch as long as you've got enough data, or with a treadmill or a bike in the fitness center. The other way is something you can run on your own. It's called the Cooper's 12-minute walk run test, and it's really, really simple. You just need a watch or your phone that can measure for 12 minutes, and it can measure the distance you go. So, your smartwatch will do that for you, but so will your phone. So all you need to do is go as far as you can, maximum distance, walk or run, as long as it's as hard as you can, as far as you can in 12 minutes. And all you do is use this little link here, and you can actually, or you click on this little heart icon here, and it'll take you to a calculator, and you can take the distance you've covered and your age and gender, and you will calculate METs, which is great. So there's a 12-minute run, treadmill or a watt bike, or your watch to calculate your current level of fitness. Always a good idea to know. So as I said today in my talk, the other way is that you can do 40 minutes brisk walking without stopping. I mean, that's really as simple as it is. So I hope that helps a little bit with this confusion around METs and VO2. They're exactly the same thing. They measure the efficiency of your cardiovascular system in terms of delivering oxygen to your working muscles. And that's all. Any questions, please reach out, and we can get into the weeds if you really want to. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.